こんばんは。お風呂から失礼いたします。今日は冬至ですので、柚子風呂に入ってます。いいよだな、あはは。
Have you ever climbed a mountain? I have. The first mountain I climbed was Mount Takachiho in the Kagoshima prefecture, with nothing but a stick of bamboo and a protein bar given to me by a wise elderly Japanese man. It was a transformative experience. I climbed first upwards to the summit, then downwards to the base. Up and then down. Two very simple directions. But how would a Japanese person describe this motion of direction? Well, they would use two characters. These two characters mean up and down, both abstractly and literally. They represent not only the direction of up or down, but the general concept of aboveness and belowness. They can mean to move in the direction of up or down, to be on top of or underneath, or simply just to exist above or below something else. These two characters are part of Kanji, which is a Japanese writing system originally derived from Chinese. Kanji is a logography, meaning the symbols represent concepts or ideas. Some of these kanji are ideographs, or visual representations of an idea. Kanji, like tree, person, and mouth, are ideographs because they actually look like the thing they mean, unlike kanji like this. These two characters are great representations for the concepts of up and down. They are straightforward and intuitive, showing some markings above or below a horizontal line. This kanji has about 6 or 7 verb forms and a handful of noun forms. Let's go over the nouns first. Pronounced ue, it simply means above, up, or the top. It is grammatically a noun, but it can be translated into English as an adverb if necessary. Hon no tsukue no ue ni oku means to put a book on the desk. Literally, tsukue no ue ni oku means to place on top of the desk, or to place on the top of the desk. But we don't translate it like that, because it sounds strange and cumbersome in English. When this form is combined with other kanji, it can be pronounced ua. When it's combined with this character, which means wearing, as in wearing clothing, it means jacket, and it's pronounced uwagi, pertaining to something worn on the top or the upper half of the body. Pronounced kami, this character means a high place, or the top, both literally and metaphorically. It is used a lot of times for locations and the names of people. For example, the name Ueda is also sometimes pronounced Kamida, but this is rare. It can be used on its own to mean the upper part of a river, but I've never heard or seen this before in natural conversation. All these sentence examples that I could find of this use were really old, so if you know of any contemporary uses, please let me know in the comments. Used as a suffix, this character is pronounced jol. Its use as a suffix is somewhat strange, because its meaning doesn't directly have to do with direction. It means something like with respect to, from the perspective of, or relating to. If you combine the word rekishi, which means history, with jol, you get the noun rekishijol, which means historically, or literally with respect to history. This noun, as far as many other nouns that use the jol suffix, are used primarily when modifying other nouns using the particle no, taking the genitive case. 歴史上の出来事について学ぶことで世界に対する理解が広がります。By studying historical events, we can broaden our understanding of the world. Here, 出来事 means events. In this context, 歴史上, even though it's a noun, is translated as an adjective. Because in English, saying events pertaining to history sounds, once again, strange and cumbersome, but in Japanese, this is the natural way you say it. For those of you who are somewhat learned in Japanese suffixes, you might be asking me what makes this different than the suffix teki. Many Japanese words add teki to turn nouns into adjectives to describe things. If you get rekishi and you put teki at the end of it, this also means historical. The difference is grammar. Teki turns nouns into na adjectives. Words like rekshiteki, bunkateki, and
積極的
are all adjectival forms of nouns. Joel keeps the words as nouns, and it specifically means from the perspective of something. Rekishijol and rekishiteki can both be translated as historically, but one means from a historical perspective and the other means pertaining to history. When verbs use this kanji, that's when things can get complex and confusing. Let's take it one at a time. Ageru is a transitive verb. Now, what is a transitive verb, you might be asking? A transitive verb is a verb that requires the direct object to indicate the person or thing acted upon by the verb. For example, I received a letter. In this case, the direct object is necessary for the statement to make sense. The transitive verb here is received. Ageru is a transitive verb, meaning to raise or to move something upwards, metaphorically and literally. It can also mean to give, increase, complete, or to do for the sake of someone else. Teo ageru means to raise your hand, literally, to move the hand upwards, or hand is moved upwards. That's what makes it transitive, because te is being acted upon by ageru. Thus, we use the o particle. Sometimes the ageru in this context uses a variant kanji, but the meaning is still the same regardless of whatever kanji you use. Its intransitive form is agaru, which means the same thing, but it shows that something does something by itself, not something is acted upon. For example, watashi wa nedan o ageta means I increased the price, but nedan ga agatta means the price increased on its own, without me having any influence on it. When combined with the te form of verbs, ageru is used to show that something is done for the sake of someone else. For example, oshieru means to teach or to show, and oshiete ageru means to show or teach graciously, specifically from a first-person point of view. Great example. If someone wanted me to teach them how to make pancakes, and I showed them how to make pancakes, I would say, pankeki no tsukurikata o oshiete ageta, which means I showed him how to make pancakes. This implies that I did the teaching for the sake of someone, like the person who asked me really wanted to know how to make pancakes, so I taught it to him. The next verb here is noboru. It is an intransitive verb that means to ascend, go upwards, or proceed. Yama o oboru means to climb a mountain, literally to ascend a mountain. This phrase commonly uses a variant kanji, which is the same one as tozan, which is a noun that means mountain climbing as a concept. Nobosu is the transitive pair for noboru, and it means the same thing, but transitively. Koe o nobosu means to raise a voice, referring to an increase in volume, but this is rare and archaic. Nobosu is not used much. This next verb is a compound verb, and it's not entirely relevant, but I thought I would throw it in here just for fun. Moshiageru. This is a word that means to say, tell, give, do, or extend, and it's used specifically in a humble form of Japanese called kenjogo. Kenjogo is a type of Japanese used when speaking about yourself, when you want to humble yourself, or if you're in a professional context. It is part of a greater type of Japanese called keigo, or polite language. For example, if my boss gave me a pay raise, I could say to him, "Ore no moshiage you mo arimasen," which means something like, I cannot possibly express my gratitude enough. This is a very polite way of essentially saying thank you. Kenjogo is very hard, so unless you are advanced, you don't need to worry about it. And I'm not advanced, so I'm not going to worry about it. So what about this character's logical opposite? Down. What goes up must come down. This character by itself means under, bottom, down, or below. And it's pronounced shita. Let's look at the desk again. Hon o tsukue no shita ni oku means to place a book under the desk, with tsukue no shita literally meaning the underside of the desk. As a noun, it has another pronunciation, moto, which means under the supervision or guidance of, usually pertaining to matters of law or rules. Hou no moto de wa subete no hito wa byōdō da. All people are equal under law. Saying hou no shita de sounds strange because it's too literal. as if you are literally physically underneath the concept of law. Motto is more abstract. Even though it uses the same character, the meaning is different based on the pronunciation. The variant verb forms of this kanji are much more common than the ones used for upwards. The first one I want to go over is sageru. This is a transitive verb that means the opposite of ageru, meaning to lower, reduce, remove, or to hang. It also can abstractly mean to wear. I'd assume referring to clothing hanging off the body. Its intransitive pair is sagaru. Nedan o sageru means to lower the price, and nedan ga sagaru means the price lowers. This doesn't have an equivalent to ageru's doing something for the sake of someone construction. Because think about it, how would you translate oshiete sageru? You wouldn't, because it doesn't make any sense. Not everything has a logical opposite. Sometimes things just exist. Kudasu is a very strange word. This word, I can only really define its definition in relation to other things. Kette o kudasu means to make a decision. Kette means decision. It is a noun. And kudasu, in this context, refers to handing something down, bestowing knowledge or wisdom downwards to someone. This implies that someone with a greater knowledge or wisdom made a decision on something. Kudasu is the verb that is used in kudasai. Metaphorically, it is used when asking someone to do something for you. Oshiete kudasai means something like, please teach me or please show me. But you could also interpret this as, would you be so gracious as to lower yourself to the position of teaching a pitiable wretch such as me? Kudasai is sonkeigo, which is similar to kenjogo I spoke about earlier, except this form is used when talking about the actions of others. Never, I repeat, never mix up sonkeigo and kenjogo. It's very offensive. But I'd assume if you are in the position where you are using kenjogo and sonkeigo, you will know the difference because, once again, that is an advanced level of Japanese. If you're using sonkeigo or kenjogo, you are either speaking to your Japanese spouse's parents or you are working at Honda in a very high up position. I am neither of those people. The final transitivity pair is oriru and orosu. Oriru is intransitive, and it means something descends or goes down. Orosu is transitive, and it means to descend or to go down something. Oriru is commonly used when disembarking vehicles, but it uses a variant kanji. Densha kara oriru means to get off the train, literally to go downwards from the train, referencing the motion of stepping down off of the leveled train floor. This is also used in mountains. Yama o oriru meaning to go down the mountain. The variant kanji used in oriru in this case is the same one that you use when referring to raining or snowing. Ame ga furu and yuki ga furu both use this kanji, but with different pronunciations. Orosu is usually used when someone moves something down from somewhere. Nimotsu o kurama kara orosu means to unload luggage from a car, referring to the downward motion made when luggage is brought from a car trunk or door down to the ground. It can also mean this abstractly, like in the sentence okane o orosu. What do you think this means? Do you think this means to drop your money on the ground? Do you think this means to take money from a cash register? Or to put money in a bag? Well, it means to withdraw money actually, like from an ATM or a bank account. In this case, it has a similar meaning to toridasu. Similar to how the up kanji can be pronounced kawa, this kanji can be pronounced shimo, usually in names like shimoda. There are some place names in Japan that use shimo, but there aren't very many, at least no famous ones, or none that I can think of off the top of my head. The final word I will go over is the ultimate use of both of these kanji. It's one of my favorite words in Japanese, similar to the likes of sayu and dekoboko. This word is joge, a noun meaning the concept of up and down, top and bottom, or upper and lower. It can be translated as up and down, or up or down. Also, I lied. These two kanji together actually represent 4 words. Joge is the most common use, but there are many others. These two kanji put together can also mean volumes 1 and 2, when referring to a book which only has 2 volumes in its series. Why? I have absolutely no clue. Up and down do not correspond with 1 and 2 in my brain, but maybe that is just a cultural difference. Ueshita means top and bottom too, but using the kunyomi instead of the onyomi. This is more uncommon, but it is used in the phrase ueshita ni naru, meaning to turn upside down or to flip around. Using the exotic rare pronunciations of kami and shimo, you get kamishimo, which is a word referring to this outfit. Kamishimo is a traditional outfit that the samurai would wear during the Edo period. This word, literally meaning top and bottom, refers to the 2 pieces of clothing that made up this outfit, the kataginu and the hakama. This is traditionally written with a different kanji, and you can even see the up and down inside of it. Isn't that cute? Now that I've thoroughly covered upwards and downwards, you might be asking why I didn't include left and right in this video as well. After all, if I covered left, right, top, and bottom, I would have had a way larger scope of directionality. I could have even thrown in front and back in there. Well, the characters for left and right, Hidari and Migi, are not nearly as complex or abstract as the ones for up and down. They don't have any commonly used verb forms, and they're often used quite literally. But anyways, with that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I said I wouldn't make any more grammar videos or kanji videos, but this one was interesting. In my last video, the Ultimate Japan Iceberg Part 1, I promised that I would be dedicating myself 100% to the Iceberg project until it's completed. I have since realized that that is a stupid idea because I have other ideas and things I want to do that are not the iceberg. It turns making the iceberg into a chore and not a fun thing. I'm not making enough money on YouTube to justify turning it into a chore or a job. Also, I'd like to announce my second channel, FreeBirdJP. I am just going to be uploading basically whatever I want on this channel, so don't expect any coherency in the content. But I guarantee you, you'll see some fun stuff. Currently, I have a mashup of 2 songs actually. I know that's unexpected content for me, but it's the songs Jenny and Dirty Car by Studio Killers, and I thought those 2 songs sound really good one after the other, so I decided to put them together. Big thanks to all my patrons. If you want to see exclusive monthly videos not available on the main channel, make sure to check out my Patreon. I have a couple months worth of backlogs there, stuff that I might never put out on the main channel. Also, I do video editing now, so if you need a video edited cheaply and quickly, I will do it. But thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.